Hey guys, David Swor here with DJ Cox. Another episode of Frenemies. DJ, how many teams are we up to now, buddy?
This is number 22 of 30. We are so close, man. We can taste it.
We're going to have to pull an all-nighter, buddy, to
Yep.
finish this out. So tonight we got a real interesting team here, one that we completely disagree on, which is hilarious. We've been agreeing a lot lately. It's kind of getting to me. I just want to argue sometimes, just take the opposite. And so we won't have to worry about that this time. So DJ, these are your boys. Tell us about the 2019 Angels.
Okay, so 72 and 90. Fourth place.
Tell us
Not
how
good.
many consecutive losing seasons the Angels have now. If you don't know, I'll tell you.
Okay, I'm going to say 17.
The 4 consecutive seasons of losing. This is with a team with one of the higher payrolls out there. But DJ, you're real high on the Angels. So before we get into that, go ahead and finish your 2019 recap.
You got the MVP from 2019, Mike Trout, 45 bombs, 104 ribbies, hit 291. Unbelievable player. The
Best
man.
player of our time. Not even close.
The man, period. The best player in the game.
Yeah.
Brad Ausmus gets one season with this team, goes 72 and 90 and gets fired to bring in the GOAT manager, Joe Madden, baby. And Shohei Ohtani last year struggles. He has 18 bombs and 62 ribbies. Goes out with Tommy John.
So DJ, let's just stop right there. How many innings did Shohei Ohtani pitch his first start of 2020?
0.000.
That is correct. That is 100% correct. But continue. This is going to be a good one because I'm real argumentative about this team. I'm not even going to lie about it.
We're going to go at it a little bit. We're going to go at it. So, what a crazy thing to go through with the death of Tyler Skaggs in the middle of their season last year. Very tragic. Just absolutely awful thing to go through as a team. We know what that's like, losing a teammate. Not fun ever. But I tell you, one of the greatest moments in baseball history to me happened the game after they came back from that, for them to throw a no-hitter in his honor between not just one of their players, but a few of those guys combining on it was absolutely unbelievable. And when they took their jerseys off and put them on the mound, man, hard to fight back the tears on that one. Unbelievable. He actually led their team last year in ERA with a 4.29. I didn't know that. Skaggs had a really good year last year up until that happened to him. However, all of their starting pitchers had losing records, David, and that was their downfall. They did not have the pitching at all. They struggled mightily. They had a really, really tough season all around in many different ways. It's hard to put your finger on this team because they've got so much, and that's what we're going to get into here for 2020. They've got a ton going for them and a ton not going for them. So it makes them very interesting. Their season last year was, just to be honest with you, a complete nightmare. Besides the Trout having the MVP season, had to just be the highlight, but everything else was a nightmare to go through for them. One of those seasons you obviously want to forget, with a death, with a big-time injury to one of your star players. So a lot went wrong in 2019 that caused them to go 72 and 90 with the MVP of the league on their team.
Yeah. So DJ, what in the world gives you hope? So this team won 72 games last year, and you probably have them there. Let's go through the additions that they made this year.
All right. So Julio Teheran, Anthony Rendon, Jason Castro, and Dylan Bundy.
Okay. So I just want, before we get into who you think the biggest, well, go ahead and tell me who the biggest one was, and then I'm going to rag on you for one.
Anthony Rendon is by far by far the biggest addition that these guys had. I mean, what a stud. 34 bombs last year. MLB leading 126 RBI, third in the MVP voting. Some argue that he should have won it last year. He was close. He made a case, to win it last year in the National League when he went to Nationals. What an outstanding season! What a great addition. I mean, this guy's worth every bit of the money that they gave him. I think he's going to be solid for years to come, and by far their key addition to the team. And I'm gonna throw another one on there too, since we're talking about it. I love Dylan Bundy. I really do.
Okay.
Love him.
I was going to go there anyway, so let's go ahead and figure this out.
Love Dylan Bundy.
I looked through his stats. Now, I will grant him that he played on the worst defensive team in MLB last year, which was the Orioles. But DJ, I think he had a 4.29 last year, over 5 the year before that, and upper 4s the year before that. So tell me, what is up with the Dylan Bundy love? I don't get it.
He has electric stuff, okay? And his problem has been control. He's lost it, okay? He's had bad years. He's had bad defense. He's played with a terrible team. I really, 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 really believe he's going to rebound with the Angels. I truly believe this. I truly believe he's going to be number 2, number 3 for these guys in their rotation. I just love his stuff. I think he's one of those guys that can turn around and become a dominant starter. I really do. He's still young. He's still got it in him. He's nasty. I really, really am looking for a big season from Dylan Bundy. This is one of my sleeper guys. I drafted him in our Temple Fantasy League. I think he's going to do good things for the Angels. I'm just high on him, man. I really am. I was high on him with the Orioles. I really was, and I just think he was in a terrible situation with the worst team in baseball there. Nobody's going to win there, but I really think that he's gonna do it, man. This is a great addition. I loved it. I loved when they picked him up. I love that they picked up Tehran, even though I don't know if he's going to pitch for them this year or not. But I think that those were 2 good starters that they added to it. They needed starting pitching, obviously, with what they did last year. So, these aren't the magical names of pickups. I give you that. And I'm not totally overwhelmed by their staff. But I'm telling you, man, I got love for Dylan Bundy. And I think at the top of the rotation he will go. And
at the top of the rotation,
he's going to be there 2 or 3.
He might be there. He might be there 2 or 3. I'll give you that. But I don't get it. So I'm gonna go with you. Anthony Rendon is the top addition. They got 2 legitimate stars, maybe the 2 best players in baseball. I don't know, on their team. But unless Anthony Rendon can pitch, I just don't think it moves the needle that far. So, 72 wins last year. Do Julio Tehran, Dylan Bundy, and Anthony Rendon. We had the team that missed the playoffs last year. We just talked about the Indians had 93 wins. Is that going to get them 21 wins, DJ?
No, but I'm just saying this is a 60-game season, man. This is unlike anything ever, and these guys are going to pass the A's and get second place in this division.
So, what's their record right now, DJ? We're 10 games in. What's their record right now?
3-7.
3-7. 3-7. So I just want to throw that out there. We're going to be bringing this up in episodes. This is going to be the team that I harp on the most because I just don't get it. I just don't get it, DJ. But
that's what this show's for. We're going to go over why, David. We're going to go over why I got the love for him, man.
All right. So tell us about key subtractions.
All right. So Cole Calhoun, Trevor Cahill, and Justin Bour. Okay, I think we saw Justin Bour in the home run derby a few years back. The guy can mash. I got nothing against him. I just don't think he's too big of a loss. Obviously, I think Cole Calhoun hurts them. I loved Cole Calhoun in right field. The guy had 33 bombs and 74 ribbies last year, and played great defense with a nice arm too. So that kind of scares me a little bit. I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't like their right fielder now. They replaced him with Brian Goodwin at all. I really don't. I think Cole Calhoun should have been kept by them. I really don't understand it. They should have gave him the money. He had a phenomenal year for him. So that by far of the subtractions they made, that's the one I don't understand, and I really wish they would have kept him, and I would have felt even better about this team since they did lose him and replace him with Goodwin. That's a tough one, man.
So let's talk about something that happened last offseason, something that a lot of people may forget. But the Angels made a big trade and then reneged on it. They would have picked up Jock Peterson and Ross Stripling, which honestly would have made me like them a whole lot better. But DJ, why did they back out of that trade? I never have heard really the story on that. Do you know why did they renege on that deal?
So something happened with I believe it was the medicals came back and something didn't go right and it completely fell apart. And that's what we were talking about with Jock now on the Dodgers, and just he's a starter and he's back with them, and Stripling too. And those are two big pieces for the Dodgers right now. Those guys are playing awesome. And man, I agree with that too. When the Angels made that trade, I was like, wow, what a trade and what a weird situation that whole thing was. And I just couldn't believe that it really happened. That you send people back to their teams and the trade falls apart. Does not happen very often. It really doesn't. So it was really weird to see. This team would have been a lot better with Jock Peterson running around out there. I'll give you that 100%. Man, that was one of the things that if you could have had Jock Peterson and out there with Trout and Upton, you'd look a whole lot better than you do with Brian Goodwin out there. So that was kind of a bummer from the Angels standpoint.
And Stripling. Stripling's kind of a guy that's buried. Yeah. He's done well in the rotation and as a reliever. He could have been a real valuable guy. I mean, the addition of those two guys probably means a difference in 5 or 6 wins over 162-game season, I would say. Because like you said, they're definitely a lot better than the guys that they have in those positions right now. So just really unfortunate. I don't know if maybe they were spooked a little bit. You don't see very many trades between the Dodgers and the Angels. So maybe that spooked them a little bit. I don't know, but big mistake. Big mistake. I don't even remember who they were trading, but I just remember thinking, man, the Angels just got a lot better. And then just like that, it was gone. So anyway, just interesting offseason. Adding Rendon. Like I said, I love the move. It didn't really address the biggest problem. And so I don't know. Not a head scratcher because, he's one of the best players in baseball. But I think they would have looked a lot better with Garrett Cole. Let's just put it that way. Do you agree with that?
Oh, 100%. I can't. Everybody looks better with Garrett Cole.
Well, like I said, if you're just going by needs and win now, they needed a pitcher, man. They needed a stud pitcher, and they just didn't get one. Tehran is a nice add. He's a 4 or 5 starter. Dylan Bundy's a 4 or 5 starter on most playoff caliber teams. And they don't really have a 1, 2, or 3. If we're just being honest, expecting Shohei Ohtani to suddenly find it again, which I don't think we can count on. So, but DJ, let's talk about 2020 a little bit. What's the biggest strength of the Angels? And if you say pitching, I'm going to punch you in the face.
All right, so here's the thing, man. When you got the best player in the world and the best manager in the world,
what?
Something's got to.
Let's back up a little bit. So the Cubs fired the best manager in the world, and the Cubs are your team. So maybe you can explain to us what happened there. Maybe that'll help me understand you crowning him as the best manager.
See, now, here's the thing, like with managers now, it's such a weird situation. I don't understand how you can win a World Series with a franchise that took 108 years to win one, and 3 years after he wins the World Series, he's gone, pushed aside to the curb. I don't understand it. I did not agree with it when it happened. I do not agree with it now. I love David Ross. He's doing a great job so far. He really is. He's outstanding. He's a great dude. He's everything you would want in a manager, a leader, all the above, checks all the boxes. Love David Ross. But, man, come on. Are you kidding me? You're going to fire Joe Madden after he leads the team to all this success in recent years? Not a fan of it. And, you know, a lot of that goes to these GMs saying we need a new voice. We need to mix it up. We need to do this. We need to do that. And one of the things I think ended up being the downfall for Madden in Chicago was all the rotations that he did with all these guys and moving them around. We talked about this in a different podcast a little bit, but he did it a ton, probably more than Aaron Boone ever did. Joe Madden did it a lot. So he did not consistently have a lineup out there ever. He batted guys in different spots all the time. And, you know, sometimes it drove me a little nuts too. I'm not going to lie to you. You know, there's some times where I'm like, why are we not playing so-and-so in this kind of situation? And some, you know, he had too much love for Jason Hayward, I thought a lot too. And, but, you know, man, I just don't get it. I really don't. And I think, you know, he's an Angels guy. He always has been an Angels guy. He grew up in their system. He's been with them for a long time. I think it's exactly what the Angels needed after having Mike Scioscia for, seems like 20 years they had him. Long time to go in this direction. I think was definitely the right move. So to me, you know, I'm a little biased, and I know he might not be number one to everybody, but I think he's one of the best managers in the game by far. And then you got Mike Trout, man, who is the best player in the world. So if you've got a manager and a player who are the best at what they do, it's a great place to start. It really is. And so here's something I came across, David. I wanted to share this with you. I did a little studying on this. So Mike Trout is 2 stud years away from already having 10 Hall of Fame seasons, which I always tell you about. You get that 10 years, you're a Hall of Famer. He's got 8 of them already.
Yep.
He is unbelievable. So he is 28 years old, and if he gets 2 more seasons like he's had, he's already a Hall of Famer at the age of 29, which is unbelievable to think. It really is. I cannot fathom his numbers. I just looked at him and I'm like, 3-time MVP. I think he's like 3-time runner-up and once 4th. He's the Rookie of the Year. He's an 8-time All-Star already. So here's the thing. Through his 27th season, I looked this up. I did a little study. You don't really think of Trout. I mean, you think of him as a home run hitter, don't get me wrong. But I think it's just the consistency of him that's what's outstanding about it, because he's not hitting 50 homers or 60 homers, you know, every year. He's just consistently putting up 30, 40. And through his 27th season, he has 285 homers. So to compare that, you go to the big 3. Okay, so Trout's got 285. Hank Aaron had 253. Babe Ruth was 197, and Barry Bonds was 176 at the same point in their career in home runs. So Trout is by far above all those guys. Aaron's close, but he's way past Ruth and Bonds. Think about that for a second, man. This guy's got, if he keeps going for another 12 or 13 years, David, wow. The sky is the absolute limit. And I hope he can stay healthy, man, because we're watching one of the greatest players to ever play the game. And I just hope it doesn't get derailed by injuries and we could see him play all the way till he's 40 years old at a high level. Wow. I mean, just you got these 2 players to start with. You just brought in Anthony Rendon, we just talked about him with his stats. He's an outstanding player. They locked him up to a long-term contract. And then another guy, I know you're not giving the love to him anymore. He's 40 years old. But Albert Pujols, man, David, don't shake your head. Talk to me. I want to hear your no love for Pujols.
Listen, I loved Pujols 10 years ago, even 6 years ago. But DJ, this guy is clearly a guy on the downside of his career. He's clearly a guy that's getting to play because they can't get rid of him, a la A-Rod. And I love Albert Pujols. Very great individual, first ballot Hall of Famer, no doubt. He's cooked, DJ. He's absolutely cooked. I don't have his stats in front of me last year, but I'm thinking about 20 homers, hit about 230. has a problem with his foot, and he's 40. Come on, DJ. Where are you getting the Pujols love for this late in his career?
Don't be knocking on us 40-year-olds. No, hey, listen, man. This guy is 3 home runs away from tying Willie Mays. Okay? Willie Mays.
Listen, I'm not doubting that he's not one of the greatest players in the game. I pulled up his stats just for funsies. 244, 23 homers last year. The year before that, 245. All right, DJ. So here's the last 3 years. 244, 23 homers, 245, 19 homers, 241, 23 homers. Does that sound like a playoff first baseman to you?
David, you're missing the big number here.
What?
Listen.
30 million? The reason they can't get rid of him? 2 more years of that. He's signed for 2 more years, DJ.
David, he hit 93 RBI last year. 93.
Yeah.
93 RBI as a 39-year-old player. That's outstanding production. Okay, so his last 4 years in RBIs is what you're missing. 119, 101, 64, and 93.
DJ, out of all the first basemen in the league right now, I mean, he's in the lower – he's probably bottom 5.
David, try to find me a first baseman that has a 4-year RBI span like that.
Are you serious right now?
Look at
64 RBIs 2 years ago. And just for the record, we're only 10 games in. He's hitting 125 right now, DJ. He's done.
He's got a grand slam.
With A-Rod. I'm a pro when it comes to guys aging out because the Yankees do this all the time. He's cooked. He's done. Albert Pujols, as much as I love him, and I've always loved him, he's not a playoff first baseman. He's just not.
I don't get it. The numbers. This game is about knocking people in and scoring runs. David, that is 223. That's like almost 400 RBI in the last 4 years. That's unbelievable. That's crazy. That's crazy. I mean, 350 to 400 ribbies in the last 4 years is outstanding production. And I get his hitting has gone down. He's not hitting 300 like he used to. I understand that. His batting average has plummeted. But he's producing. He's driving in runs. He's got Mike Trout and Rendon hitting with him. That's a pretty nasty middle of the order, man. I would not want any of those guys.
Okay. So let's back up a little bit here. So you just ripped off Pujols' numbers. But let me rip off this number to you. 4 straight losing seasons. And so we've already established that 2 of those 3 guys have been there the whole time. They were 18 games under 500 last year, and they added Rendon. How are they even going to get to 500, DJ?
I love their offense. Love it. Upton's going to bounce back. Ohtani's going to mash. You got those 3 in the middle of the order there. I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you. It's going to happen. They're going to sneak in. They're going to get hot. They're barely losing the games here. They're not getting destroyed. Your little A's love, they barely beat them every game there.
They barely beat them every game. This is so hilarious. So they've already played head-to-head, if I'm not mistaken. The A's beat them 3 out of 4 games. DJ, this just blows my mind. This is like you arguing with me Hall of Fame, and there's just some things I just can't get over, and this happens to be one of them. I just don't understand this at all.
They are going to make the playoffs this year.
Well, everybody gets a trophy. So they might make the playoffs. They might do that somehow, some way. They're letting in pretty much the whole league anyway. But in a normal season, I should have looked at the Vegas stats on this. DJ, I'm being dead serious when I say this. I don't see them being a 500 team. I just don't see it.
Don't agree, man. I really don't. I think they're going to catch
Maybe
fire.
the worst rotation in the league. Maybe the worst rotation in the league.
No. No,
Very
we've
high.
seen some
Very
very
close
bad
to it.
rotations. This is not the worst. It's bad.
It's
but
not,
it's not
the
the
worst. It's bottom 5. It's bottom 5.
No, it's not bottom 5. Bottom 10. Bottom 10.
And you're going to expect a bottom 10 rotation to make the playoffs.
You got the best manager in the game. You got the best player in the game. You got probably the 5th best player in the game. You got a guy that's going to get 100 ribbies no matter what. Well, not 100 this year with the shortened season, but you got Ohtani who's going to mash. I'm telling you, I love Tommy La Stella at second. I think he's just a gamer, hard-nosed player. You need a guy like him in your lineup. I'm telling you, David, you watch out for these Angels. You watch out. They're coming, man.
So, I know they probably don't have one, but what's their biggest weakness this year?
Well, I took a long time on the strengths, didn't I? I love this thing, man.
Just disgusting.
So, it's the rotation. Okay? It is. But I love Andrew Heaney. I think he's going to have a good year. I really do. I don't think he's an ace on any other team. I give you that. But I think he can do it. I think he can pitch for them. I already talked about the Dylan Bundy love, but his career is 39-46, which is not what we expected out of him being one of the Orioles' top prospects. But it's going to be his year to click. This is it. Heaney and Bundy, 1 and 2. Matt Andriese is 24-31 in his career. Griffin Canning is 5 and 7, and Shohei Ohtani, we'll see what we get out of him. But if Ohtani can do anything on the mound, I mean, we'll see. If he clicks, then you've got 3 pretty solid starters, man. The truth.
In fantasy land, maybe in PlayStation or something, we got 3 solid starters. DJ, it's awful. It's absolutely awful. So you just reeled off that they all got losing records.
How is that awful? That's not awful. That's bad, but it's not awful.
I just don't even know what to say right now. It's fantasy land. I mean, it's total fantasy land, and the record's going to prove it out. I mean, they have a losing record, all of them, and Shohei Ohtani didn't even get an out his first start. He's cooked. I don't know what's happened to that dude, but they already said they were going to pitch him. They were only going to pitch him once a week anyway, so he wasn't even going to be like on a regular rotation with everybody else. I'll admit Heaney seems to have pretty decent stuff. Dylan Bundy's back in the rotation, and I'm going to compare them to a little bit our last podcast. We talked about the outfield from Cleveland. This team right here is full of number 6 starters. They don't have any good pitchers. None. And somehow you expect this rotation to be better than the A's.
Heaney, Bundy, and Ohtani.
I mean, what's going on?
Heaney, Bundy, and Ohtani. 1, 2, 3.
We're going to have a review episode about this. I can't wait till the end of the year.
This one's going to click. This one's going to click. That offense is nasty. I love the offense, man. This team is going to find a way to sneak into the playoffs, even with the bad rotation.
Okay, so go ahead and give me best case scenario. Tell me how. How are they going to pass the A's?
So the best case scenario is second place. We already know the Astros are going to win this division. The A's, just not sold, man. I'm not sold. I know that they took 3 out of 4 in the first series against them. That was because they had that stupid rule where you have a guy on second base in extra innings. That's the reason why they lost. that one game. So that's stupid stuff that shouldn't be losing by. So they should really realistic be 4-6 right now because of that stupid rule. So um, I'm telling you, David. So let's go to some more other guys here since we're talking about it. Andrelton Simmons, he's a very good defensive shortstop. He's gonna play pretty well for him. I like him a lot too. I'm telling you, man, Jason Castro is getting a first shot at starting full time. This is another good pickup they had in the offseason. Not great, but he's a good player. I'm just telling you, Upton's going to bounce back. Upton's 2018 season was 30 bombs and 85 ribbies. 30 and 85. He's going to come back, man. He just had a down year last year, battled a little bit of injuries. Justin Upton, there's nothing wrong with him. He's a great player. You got Upton, Trout, Simmons, Rendon, La Stella, Pujols, Castro. Come on, man. Give that offense some love, David.
It's the AL West version of the Rockies, the team that can hit but can't pitch. And how many World Series have the Rockies won? 4 straight years of losing seasons, 72 and 90 last year, and they didn't have enough pitching to win. But the Astros now have left a little bit of a window, I think, for somebody to overtake them. So I'm going to tell you my best case scenario with the Angels. It's still third place. They can't pass the Astros even after they lost Verlander, DJ. It just can't happen. The A's are going to win that division. They hit all those home runs last year. They got better pitching than either of the other two teams. So the A's, I'm putting it on paper, they're going to win that division. Astros are going to be second. Angels' best case scenario is third place. Don't doubt me. And that's iffy. So what? Okay, in fantasy land, DJ, what is worst case scenario for the Angels?
Second place. What? Second place.
They're second place regardless.
Second place for best case and worst case scenario. They're stuck there. They're going to make second place for these guys. I'm telling you, man. Watch it. You watch it unfold. It's going to click.
DJ. So they're going to be better than the Rangers?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely better than the Rangers. No doubt. No doubt.
DJ?
Astros, Angels, A's, Rangers, Mariners don't even count.
The Angels don't have one pitcher as good as the Rangers starting 5. The Rangers' number 5 starter is better than the ace for the Angels, and it's not debatable. I'm just going to go back to a statement I used to say all the time, DJ, when we used to argue. This podcast has made me dumber. Everything that's coming out of your mouth is making me dumber. The more you talk, the dumber I get.
Let me tell you something. This is the division by far that we disagree on the most. I guarantee you that.
No doubt.
By far. Because your 1 through 5 is way different than my 1 through 5 in this. And I think the only thing we agree on is the Mariners are number 5.
Yeah, the Mariners are firmly in their best case scenario is last place. But right now they're ahead of the Angels. I'm just going to throw that out there. Right, as of today, they're ahead of the Angels.
Oh man, this should have been a podcast before the stinking season started, so I can look a little bit better about myself. We got these guys a little too late, man.
This is so great. I was on vacation all last week, and every day I was checking those box scores, knowing that the Angels were coming up, and every day it just made me smile even more. Now, having said all this, in your defense, the A's aren't exactly setting the world on fire either. I think they're just a game or two ahead of them, so maybe we're both dumb. I don't know. But let's talk a little bit about, every playoff team has players come out of nowhere, the prospect or whatever. So tell me how, out of one of the worst farm systems in baseball, where are they going to find a guy that pops up out of nowhere?
Okay, so Brandon Marsh is my guy, and I already told you already that I'm not a fan of Brian Goodwin. and I wasn't a fan of them getting rid of Cole Calhoun. So they need a right fielder, and they need one bad. And I think that he can be the guy. He's kind of a center field type, but he's not playing center field for the Angels. So he's going to have to go to right field. Brandon Marsh, 6'4", 215. Watched a lot of video on this guy the other day. Left-handed stick, throws right. Got some good size to him. I like that size. 21 bombs and 159 ribbies in 3 seasons, 287 hitter. So he's got some pop and some average. He's our number 2 prospect overall for the Angels. Real nice opposite field power. So this guy mashes to the left field, being a left-handed hitter. And to me, that shows me something. If you can hit the ball opposite field for power, then you've got a pretty good ceiling as far as your power numbers could be. Because I'm seeing him go opposite field really nice, and I like that a lot about him. I think he's on the quick road. They had him as a 2020 prospect coming up this year. Not sure that's going to happen with a shortened season, but he will probably more than likely be up next year for sure. So keep that guy in mind. He seems to be a pretty good prospect for him. I like him. Everything I've seen about him seems to be pretty good. So hopefully we'll see him up pretty quick for the Angels. What do you got?
I'm going to go with their top prospect, who is Joe Adele, 5-tool prospect, the number 6 prospect in the game. It's obvious Marsh and Adele are going to be the outfielder of the future along with Trout, which is pretty exciting. Upton, I think, is in the last year of his deal. Maybe he might have one more year after this one. And then, Goodwin, unless he turns it on, there's going to be a place for both of those guys there. But again, I'm going to go back to none of their prospects can pitch. So, DJ, I got to give you – I forgot to throw this stat in there a minute ago. I'm going off the rails here. You know how many quality starts, which is, a low standard anymore. How many quality starts the Angels had last year in total all year?
10.
22. 4 less than Garrett Cole had by himself. They should have given Garrett Cole ownership of the team.
I don't care about last year. I didn't think they were going to be that good
this year. Southern California guy. And the problem is the guys that they picked up aren't going to solve that problem. And the other 2 were in that rotation that had 22 quality starts. So anyway,
David, they're 2 starting pitchers away from winning the World Series. 2 starting pitchers away from being a World Series contender.
Man, we're just on polar opposites on this one. Polar opposites. So DJ, I've been looking forward to this. Tell me who your favorite all-time Angel is, and it can't be Mike Trout.
It's very easy for me, and I don't think we actually kind of got to this portion when we were talking earlier. It's Vladimir Guerrero. I mean, by far, it's definitely him. We talked about his son with the Toronto. Since Montreal Expos do not even exist anymore, I gotta put a Vladdy in some spot. So I know he's kind of known a little bit more for being an Expo than the Angel, but he did have a lot of years with the Angels. So this guy, man, 449 bombs, 1,496 ribbies, 318 batting average, which is unreal when you have that many homers, 379 on base, 553 slugging for his career, 2,590 hits, nose-to-toe swinger, 9-time All-Star, which Mike Trout's already an 8-time All-Star. Isn't that crazy to think that? Unbelievable. Hall of Famer, 2004 MVP, cannon for an arm. Man, I love Vladimir Guerrero. One of my top 10 favorite players of all time, no doubt. Like I said, I wish he was a part of that 2002 World Series team. That would have been really cool to have him on that team. But Vladimir Guerrero's my guy, man. Who you got?
So if I can't go with Mike Trout, I made myself not take Mike Trout. I've got to go with my boy Jim Edmonds, DJ. I had to pull up the catch again. I had to pull it up. So, you were totally shading him. He was not playing at second base like you said he was. He was playing a more shallow outfield. But that was a phenomenal catch.
He was playing what?
You told me that he was playing like almost at second base,
Did you watch
Yeah.
the video? Yes, he was.
Like 10 times. I watched it like 10 times.
Where was he
Unbiased.
positioned? He's
He
about
was
300 feet out there.
no. He was about 350, 340. That was a phenomenal catch, DJ. And Jim Edmonds, if you go to YouTube and just type in Jim Edmonds, the first thing that'll come up is the catch. We all know which one we're talking about. Phenomenal. But he was a human highlight film for a long time, man.
Oh,
And
my
most
God.
of those weren't with the Angels, but he had some great years with the Angels too. Very underrated outfielder. I love me some Jim Edmonds. I couldn't wait to shove that right in your face.
This is the worst podcast that there is. Jim Edmonds got brought up as your favorite Angel of all time. That's
Well,
my
listen,
I hate Jim Edmonds with a passion.
the Angels have no history. Let's just be honest about it.
They won the
The Angels,
2002 World Series. They have a
but
little bit of history.
a little bit. All their history is more recent, like right in there. But if you go back, I mean, can you name me anybody? I can name you a few people that played for the Angels in the 80s, but not very many. They just don't have a good – and that's really sad because, again, they're a high payroll team. We've got a beautiful stadium. We'll talk about that in a minute. Right now they have the best player in the game, maybe the best player ever. But if you try to go back over their history, there's not much there, DJ.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. They got a World Series, though.
They do got a World Series. I've always secretly liked the Angels, except for this year when you like them.
Did you just bring up – are you serious about Jim Edmonds being your favorite Angel of all time? That guy. I
Well, he
can't.
might have been a jerk, DJ.
I just
He was
got
fun
dumber.
to watch.
I
He was
just
fun
got
to
dumber.
watch.
Fun to
Center
watch because he
fielder.
was a showboat.
Well, so was
Showboat.
Ricky Henderson.
I hate Ricky Henderson. Not a fan at all. Zero love for Ricky Henderson. I'm the greatest. Today I'm the greatest player of all time. I got the base up here. I'm the greatest. Get out of here.
Jim Edmonds was the man.
Jim Edmonds.
One of the best defensive center fielders ever. He can make those catches, DJ. You got to admit, that was a phenomenal catch. So, DJ, let's talk about Angel Stadium. Have you been there?
This is a tough one for me because I went on an awesome trip from Phoenix to LA to San Diego and back. And I really don't know what happened, but the Angels were not in town when the Dodgers were. Missed them. That was a bummer because that's hard to go back to LA for the Angels when you gotta go. I gotta go north now up to Oakland and San Francisco, and man, I really wish I would have gone there. That looks like an awesome one. I did pass it on the expressway, so I saw it from a distance. Looks really cool from the outside too, but inside there, man, what a beautiful park, man. What a beautiful park, and I cannot wait to eventually get there one of these days for sure. That one looks awesome. Really cool looking field. It's not too far from, people kind of think it's a little, really far from downtown LA. It's really not. It just seems like it because it takes you about 3 hours to go 5 miles in that city. So it seems like it's forever away, but it's really not that far. And it's really cool, man. I am a big fan of wanting to go there. How about you?
Yeah, man. I'm being serious when I say this. If I was a player, the Angels would be a top 5 destination for me. I'm serious. The weather, the stadium's beautiful. They have money. I know they've struggled winning, but I just think it looks like a cool place to play. Like I said, the LA's got great weather. I would love to go to Angel Stadium. I love that they got the fountains in the outfield. I think it looks cool. But yeah, I've never been there either. I've never been to any of the West Coast stadiums. That sucks that you missed it because, like I said, it's going to be kind of out of the way for you now. You're going to have to be going that way to make that stadium. But yeah, man, it looks like an awesome place to me too.
It's kind of going to be a little tougher now to map that out. I'm gonna have to start like in LA and go up the coast all the way, and that's a significant drive to get all the way up to Oakland and San Francisco from LA. It's LA and San Diego are pretty close, so I really wish we could have snuck that one in there. Somehow it didn't work out to where we could do that, but the Angels were on a really long road trip when we hit that area. So there wasn't even a chance, I don't think, that we could have stuck around a little longer and catch them. It just did not work out. So I'm looking forward to that one. That's going to be a lot of fun.
Yep. Well, DJ, I think we got trivia. I got some good trivia stuff. I'm gonna let you do the trivia first because I'm afraid our trivias might overlap. So go ahead and give me what trivia questions you got.
All right. I have a good one for you here, and you're probably going to get this. Who led the 2002 World Series champion Angels? Who led that team in hits for the season?
So Garrett Anderson was always a great hitter. But I don't feel like he was a real high average hitter, so that's probably out. Troy Gloss was on that team, I'm thinking, 50 homer guy, but he struck out a lot, so it wouldn't be him. Was JT Snow on that team? I feel like he could be in that conversation. No?
He played for the Giants, who they played in the World Series.
Hey, wasn't he an Angel at one point too? Am I missing that somehow?
Yep.
I thought he started out with – okay, but he was on the Giants that year.
Remember when he grabbed Dusty Baker's kid and pulled him all out of the way? That was in the World Series against the Angels.
I remember that. I do remember that. Okay. I'm going to go with Garrett Anderson. Probably a terrible pick. Is that who it was? Yeah, Garrett Anderson.
Your gut, man. That was a good one.
Garrett Anderson was a stud, man. He was – that's back when the Yankees were going through their stretch of being good, and he was always a very feared at bat because he could put the bat on the ball and he hit for power. I like me some Garrett Anderson.
So 195 hits that year.
195? How many home runs? Do you have that?
I do not. Nope.
I'll be looking that up here while you think about this. Now, you might get one of these. I don't think you'll get both of them. Who is the all-time Angels home run leader?
Ooh.
Toughie.
Huh. All-time Angels home run leader. Man. I know who it's not, David.
Albert Pujols.
I was going to say Jim Edmonds.
He wasn't there long enough, or he would be. This is going to shock you. It shocked me.
Okay, so I'm going to go – man, I'm going to probably get this wrong, but I bet he's up there. Troy Gloss?
Nope. Tim Salmon.
Yeah. That's
Tim Salmon.
Man.
I would have never got that.
He was on that 2002
team. 299 home runs with the Angels. And just behind him now is Trout. Trout probably, if he doesn't pass him this year, will be close. Trout's at 285. But Tim Salmon, man, I forgot what a great player he was. These are his home runs: 31, 23, 34, 30, 33, 26, 17, 34. I mean, he was good for a lot of years. But I never would have guessed that in a million years, that he would be the all-time home run leader for the Angels.
I believe he's on that 2002 team too, wasn't he?
Yeah, oh yeah. Yep, definitely. He that year hit 286, 22 homers. By the way, Garrett Anderson had 29 homers that year. Awesome season. 14th in the MVP voting that year. But pretty crazy. So, I'm a pitcher, and I love me some pitching stats. Who is the all-time wins leader for the Angels?
Ooh, man. That is also tough because, like you said, man, this team's history is kind of. Whew.
There's not very many guys that you would recognize on that list. I looked it up today. This guy you should know. He's from our era. He was good but not great for a lot of years.
Yeah. Oh man. I got to get Nolan Ryan out of my mind because Nolan Ryan just pitched for way too many teams.
Yeah.
Doggone it. How about John Lackey?
No, not John Lackey. My boy Chuck Finley. 200
Yeah.
wins, 200 career wins. His career stats, to be honest with you, surprised me. 200 career wins, 2,600 strikeouts from old Chuck Finley, 400 strikeouts from being Hall of Fame consideration. Great career. He pitched almost his whole career there. Last couple years, he pitched in Cleveland. He pitched on the 2000 Cleveland team and won 16 games. He was involved in Yankees rumors for years and years and years. He was like the unicorn that they were always after but never got. But Chuck Finley, all-time Angels win leader.
That makes sense now that you say it. Where's Lackey at on that list? You got him?
I don't remember seeing him, just to be honest with you.
Okay.
It would make sense that he would be on that list, but I just didn't remember seeing his name. Mark Langston was in there. I'm looking here at Lackey. Lackey just wasn't there that long, so that's probably why he's not on the list. Just looking at it here, he probably has about maybe 100 wins with the Angels, something close to that. But old Lackey was a gamer, man. I love that. I remember when Sosha came out to get him in one of those playoffs games, maybe it was a World Series game, and he said no. How would you handle that situation, DJ? You come out to get your stud pitcher, and he says no.
So, Lackey's 5th all time, and Nolan Ryan was 3rd all time. Yeah. So I wasn't too crazy on either of those thoughts, really. Okay, Jared Weaver, number 2. Anyway, no, I actually am okay with that. If my pitcher thinks he should still be out there and he's, feeling good, I have let them sometimes talk me out of taking them out. Sometimes that has backfired. Sometimes that has worked out okay. So it's tough, man. It really is when your guy's saying no, I don't want to come out. I got this. It makes it harder. It really does. And sometimes you just know it's the right choice. Sometimes you're like, okay, are you sure? Like I said before on this podcast, man, by far the hardest part of managing / coaching is knowing when to take out your pitcher and when to put somebody else in. It's by far the hardest thing to do in coaching, and it makes everything harder when they say they still got it and you take them out. So, yeah, that's tough.
Yeah, very tough. I always had a lot of respect for Lackey. I was a pitcher that hated coming out of the game. Most guys that are competitive are like that. So I thought that was really cool. But like you said, it's a make or break. Some managers just can't do it. I think it's hilarious that Joe Torre won as much as he did because, to be honest with you, he sucked at it. I'm just going to be straight honest about it. I watched that Mariners playoff game that the Yankees lost in '96 and was screaming at the TV because I don't know if you remember. He left, I believe it was David Cone, in there just way too long, like 130 or 140 pitches, literally. And come on, man. But anyway, he's one of the greatest managers of all time, but he sucked at that part of the game. He wore relievers out. Pitched the same guys every day, had no care about, this guy's going to pitch in 90 games this year. He just rolled with it, and obviously it worked for him, but very tough. One of the most frustrating as a fan, knowing that you can see a guy wearing down and coach won't take him out. But anyway, well, DJ, I think that wraps it up, man. I'm definitely going to take this podcast and share it 1,000 times and make sure that I put on the description that DJ is pumping up this 2-7 team.
3-7.
3-7. I don't want to short them a win.
All right. So before we leave, what's the score of their current game right now? So
I don't know.
Let's see where the Angels are doing right now. Let's not say we did. Never mind.
Yes. But DJ, I'm gonna have to say something about you. I've never argued with anybody that I couldn't change their mind except for you. You will plant the flag in the top of the mountain and never budge from it, even when it's obvious you're wrong. And I got to respect you for it, man. We have debated Hall of Fame stuff. I've looked at stuff for hours. I thought, this will be the thing that'll sway DJ. Not happening. Just not going to do it. He'll plant the flag in the Alan Trammell place no matter what, no matter how wrong he is. You're not going to budge him. So DJ will stick with this. We'll get to the end of the season, and there'll be 12 games out, and DJ will find a statistical way that they can still make
it. Hey, you made me come around on Mike Mussina. I'll give you that. And there might have been one other player that you eventually got me to come around on too. But most of the time when that happens, it is with the pitchers because you do make me kind of see a little bit more of a light from the pitching standpoint as far as Hall of Fame credentials go. But I'm not too sure you've made me come around on any offensive guys yet. So
we talked about. I just don't understand the steroid thing. I'll never understand it. I just got to get off of that. But
consequences for your actions, buddy.
Hey DJ, I want to tell you something. So today, I know we got to quit. We're sitting there. Me and Leland are watching. We were watching the Diamondbacks and the Dodgers.
Oh, I was listening to that game on the way home from Wisconsin. Pretty cool.
There was an NBA game on, and I jokingly said, "Hey, Leland, you want to watch some hockey?" He said, "Yeah." So we watched a little bit of Philadelphia Flyers and the Boston Bruins, and I had no idea what was going on the whole time.
What? You watched some hockey today?
Yeah, we watched a little bit of playoff. It's playoffs, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we watched a little bit of it. I don't know. I think the Flyers ended up winning. They were up either 1 or 2-0. I don't remember, but it was all Leland's idea, so I figured you'd be proud.
You just made up for your stupid Jim Edmond comment earlier.
Greatest center fielder of all time.
Oh, my gosh. David, stop it.
My hero. I got his jersey somewhere. If I ever had another boy, I'd name him Edmund.
Oh, man. You'd call him A.J. Edmonds for A.J. Brzezinski.
Exactly. A.J. Brzezinski. Gosh. I forgot. Until you brought him up the other day, I forgot how bad I hated that guy. I hate A.J.
Oh, good. Good. We agree on that one. That's good.
Yeah, remember he was the Red Sox guy there for a little while. Just mouthy. Couldn't stand him. But anyway.
Oh. Yuck, man. There's probably nothing worse than a mouthy catcher who you can't stand. Let's just be honest.
Yeah, I'm with you. Well, DJ, I guess this wraps up probably the most entertaining podcast of the year. I'm going to try to be more combative in the future. I've enjoyed it thoroughly.
Man, hey, they're coming, man. It's going to click. It's going to click for the Angels. They almost beat the Astros tonight. They almost did.
Oh, wow. Joe Madden hasn't been the wizard after all. I think he used all his wizard mojo with the Cubs or something. But,
well. We'll see.
All right, buddy. Well, it's about that time.
Yes, sir.
Who we doing next?
We got to get on the Rockies and the Padres tomorrow, hopefully.
Rockies and Padres. All right. Should be interesting.
Yes, sir.
So, for all of our fans out there, be sharing this, and we'll be back at it tomorrow.
Yes, sir. Thanks, everybody.